Greetings, my University of Redlands students. I just had a really excellent question posed to me by one of your classmates, and I thought it would be helpful for me to record a video to walk you through this process of doing the topic and abstract assignment that goes towards your final paper. Now, while I am recording this specifically for my spring 2018 social psychology class, if you are taking a future upper division course with me, a lot of this is going to apply to you just the same, except you won't be looking at topics in social psychology. You'll be looking at it in some other area. So please do adjust what I say accordingly. So let's go in and start looking for some articles. And I talked through this process with you. I also have posted a guide within Moodle. Let me click into there so I can show this document to you briefly. Log into the appropriate class. And you will see I have a new edition here called How to Find Scholarly Journal Articles at University of Redlands. Again, if you're looking at this in a future class, I probably already have that there. But for my spring 2018 social psych class, this is a new edition. Let's take a click on that. We'll take a little look at it briefly. And this is a helpful guide on how to narrow some stuff down. I step you through the exact process of how you go to the library link and some settings that you need to have: full text, peer-reviewed journals, published date, 10 years into the future, and then to enter some search terms. Once I go over to this screen, I'm going to have a couple other suggestions that I may actually add into this document at some point in time. I also give you some suggestions on how to use search terms. You don't exactly have to do this, but this is something I have found to be of great help to many people. And remember, when you are looking for abstracts, you are looking for original research. I will show you something over on the library screen that will help you a great deal. I've also included this table down here to give you an idea of what I mean by psychological term of interest, grouping term, and context term. These are not, I repeat, not topics for social psychology for you to use, but just give you a framework for how this goes together. I also want to note that any topics I use as a demonstration for you and showing you how to do this, they are off limits for you. You can't use the articles I find. But in any event, the topic I'm going to research on is one that I keep looking at over and over again. It was the topic of my master's thesis, and I tend to keep just beating that one to pieces with finding more information. So we're going to click into the library link. And here we roll on in, and this is what you should see. You should see this box with this tab in white, Articles, Books, and More, which is perfect. Click on View a List of Databases, and scroll on down here to Psych Articles. While you could use some broader-based search database, I'm recommending you use Psych Articles because this will keep you on track with psychology. One problem that I found in the past when I've had students do this paper is that if they're using a more broadly based database, I would get all sorts of weird articles from other disciplines that really weren't psychology, and that'd be kind of problematic in doing a psych lit review. So we're going to click on Psych Articles. And as you will see, since I have been fiddling around with this before I started to record this, I have some terms that are already in here: adult attachment, forgiveness, and romantic relationships. So that was the general topic of my master's thesis. You will also note that I've clicked on full text, because if we can't get the whole article, it's not going to be very useful to us. Peer reviewed, and 10 years back. So again, if you're taking this in a future class, January 1, 2008 may not be your date, okay, but go 10 years back from the month we are presently in. Other helpful things that will really help you narrow it down usefully is to go down here to methodology. And I suggest clicking on empirical study. Experimental replication is dandy too. and also a quantitative study. You could do a qualitative study, I guess, if you were doing all qualitative studies, but just stick to the quantitative ones. You should be able to find enough. Notice that we are avoiding meta-analyses, as cool as those are, because those are not suitable for this particular kind of lit review. We're also avoiding other people's lit reviews because that's not what we consider original research. Unless you are fluent in French or German, I also suggest you click on English. And translating scientific articles is not my idea of a good time. I can stumble along in Spanish to a fair degree, but I don't care to. And that should yield some interesting results for us here. So let's go ahead and click on search. And sure enough, we have 112 results. Now, I'm certainly not going to want to look at 112 abstracts if I have to in great detail. So I'm going to do some scanning down here to try to narrow some stuff down a little bit. I'm going to sort by relevance. That's just fine. That's often the best way to go about it. You may also, if you're getting like a whole slew of articles, if you're getting like over 200 or something, you may want to sort by date, going with whatever is the newest, the most recent first, but I'm sticking with relevance. So I have a particular idea in mind. I want to look at forgiveness at an interpersonal level. It kind of helps to conceptualize exactly what you want to think about before you do this. Sometimes you will also find you come up with some really cool search terms. And then once you did the search and you see the articles that are there, that you may have to reshape exactly what you're going to do in order to have enough decent articles to hang together. And there's nothing wrong with this for the type of lit review that we are doing at this point in time. So here we go, trust and biased memory of transgressions in romantic relationships. That's my first one here. And actually that sounds kind of intriguing. So I'm going to click on this. And let's see, here we can see the highlighting of our terms in there. Oh, I don't want to give you feedback right now, okay? You'll see some highlighted terms that tag in there. So, they talk generally about the results. This actually sounds pretty interesting to me, just scanning it over. Let's look at a little more of the abstract there. Okay, so let's say this is something I decide that I might want to keep. What I would suggest doing right away is download the full text. So go to full text and download the full one. Neat how they have something that you can listen to it there as well, and it lays out how long it is and the like. This one also has it listed down here, so if you just want to do a copy and paste, you can do that. But generally a PDF is going to give you a cleaner version of what's going on here. But what you need for the moment is the abstract itself, which we see in front of us. And as I was fiddling around with this, I found some pretty cool things that you could do here. So let's say we're going to save this abstract because you want to submit it to me along with your proposed topic. So click Save over here. And what you can do, since I want you to put this in a Word file, I strongly suggest you go to RTF, because that's a rich text file that works with Microsoft Word. And then it's going to give you some options here of what you need here. You don't need to do the full text article at this time. That's what that would get you. But so I suggest clicking on this and going down to Custom. And I'll show you what I want you to click in Custom. You click Continue, and then I'll let you have the choices. And you'll see I have the abstract and the publication info is pre-selected here. That's all I really need you to do at this point in time. Publication info is already selected. If it's not, make sure abstract and publication info are over here. Click on Continue, and then it's starting its request. It's going to do its little thing, and you will see that your RTF file has opened down here. So click on that, and here you see this lovely, excuse me, this lovely little file that has your site and your abstract. Just beautiful. So in order to save this, it will download as a protected, enable editing. Okay. What I've already done is I have a document open where I'm going to be talking about what my topic is about. So I'm just going to highlight this beautiful thing here, whole thing, and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go over to my other document. Oh, I suppose I could finish what I'm talking about there. Adult attachment forgiveness. And forgiveness. Aye, aye. In romantic relationships. Okay. Then I'm going to go down there and paste my pretty little abstract and title in there. Okay. Then I'm going to put in a page break and I'm going to go find another article or two to put in there. Well, you know, you should have at least 3 when you do this. Okay, so you can go back to the screen, request completed, close that, back out of there, and you can see it'll take you back. Now here's something that you might find really helpful too. When you find an article here, it gives you this nice list of related items. These related items are often things that are cited in this article itself, so they're kind of things that build on one another. Now be careful. Not all of the things that are cited are going to fall within the time deadline you want, and not all the things that are cited are really going to pertain tightly to your topic. For instance, over here, balancing trust and control in organizations. No, that's not helpful at all. Something that's talking about theoretical perspectives, that's not probably going to help you much at all either. Here's something that sounds interesting, but it's too old. So in this case, I'm just going to go back to my list of different findings and scroll down here and find something more. Now I'm going to be careful about what I select. I specifically want to look at romantic relationships. So here's something that's about religion and spirituality. Well, if that's what I was looking at, that's absolutely great, but that's not the topic that I'm trying to concentrate on. This talks about family relationships. Well, I'm looking specifically at romantic relationships. Mutual influences in adult romantic attachment, religious coping, and marital adjustment. No, not really. This one looks good. The attachment system and fledgling relationships, a role for attachment anxiety. Oh my goodness gracious, that sounds pretty heavy. Let's click on that. Is it sensible to study attachment dynamics between potential romantic partners before they share a full-fledged attachment bond? Oh my word, that sounds very fascinating. However, you will notice that one of our key elements in here, one of the key elements that we care about, forgiveness, not seeing it. I'm not seeing it at all. So even though that's a really cool article that I might want to save for later, not going to do it. It's not going to do it this time. So that gives you kind of an idea of the process that you're going to need to go through. And so once you have pasted in there 3 to 5 abstracts, I would recommend doing a couple more than what you need, than the 3 you need. So I have some choices to throw out if you pick some duds. Okay, and don't expect to do this right the first time. Okay, there is an art to this. It does take some practice to weed things out. So I'm going to go back to our little document here. So what you would do is that after you pasted those all in there, you would save it. And I'm just going to save it to my desktop because that's where I put everything on Earth and to then sort it out later. So topic and abstract, and then I will put a link into Moodle for you to upload this document. Okay, so I hope you have found this little walkthrough helpful. Just let me know if you have any questions. Drop me an email. I'm on the computer a lot, as you well know. Okay, I hope that you find this to be an interesting assignment and a good jumping off point for doing a good lit review. Bye-bye now.